Well, this is a little different, but hello! Welcome to the very first video on this new channel. I'm Volcaronite, and today we're going to be starting a special Minecraft series that I'm calling Cursed Life. Cursed Life is a survival multiplayer server where a handful of players, in our case 13, are placed in a small world and forced to fight until one remains. However, there are some special rules here to make the gameplay a little more interesting than an all-out brawl. For starters, each player has 3 lives, represented by the color of their name tag. Green means you've got all 3 lives, yellow means you have 2, and red means that you have only 1 life. If you die in your 3rd, or red life, then you lose. Additionally, you're not allowed to be openly hostile to other players until you're on your red life. So people who have not died, or who have only died once, aren't allowed to instigate combat. They're allowed to defend themselves, but they can't start a fight, set traps in other people's bases, or otherwise cause someone's death. Now, these are the main rules of the game of Last Life, which was invented by a Minecraft YouTuber named Grian. However, we have something special here, the Cursed Totem. You can pause to read the rules here, but in a nutshell, holding one of these when you die allows you to cheat death. When you do, the server randomly chooses another player. That player has to kill someone within 30 minutes or they die. Lives don't matter. They must kill someone or die themselves. And that's basically it. So now that you know the rules, let's get started. Actually, one more thing. During this first session of Cursed Life, I lost my main recording of the gameplay. That means I lost my video and, more importantly, all my audio. So this video is going to be quite different to most of the Minecraft content you're probably used to seeing. It'll mostly be me narrating over footage that I was able to recover by using a special mod called Replay Mod. Basically, this video's got some wonk to it. Hopefully, you'll enjoy it anyway. Alright, now let's get started. The 13 of us began in a circle and introduced ourselves. Most of these players had played in a previous session of this game and were familiar with each other. I had not played last time and was eager to make a good first impression.
I've been called by some as an inspiration, and others are correct.
That's that. It's gone to his head.
It really has.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh god.
After meeting up, the server mod gave us some magical fireworks, and as they launched, we launched into the main game. We'd all been teleported across the map randomly, and most made it pretty far away. I, however, did not. Oh well, not a big deal. As I start to gather wood here, I want to introduce you to the first non-me character of our story. This is Bree. Now unfortunately, Bree was quite ill in the first session and couldn't stick around. Our rule on the server is that if you miss a session, you lose a life. So Bree was making her way to spawn to be killed by whoever got there first. Of course, since I was all of 5 inches away, I was the first to greet her. I did, however, have some qualms about killing her so swiftly. Bleo, on the other hand, did not. This is Bleo. She's the victor of the previous session and a really intimidating player. In the weeks leading up to the session, she posted this scary contraption in our Discord server. Anyway, Bleo wasted no time dispatching Bree and, remember this, collecting her head. Player heads are guaranteed to drop from every player whenever they die, and are required for building an enchanting table, so are incredibly valuable. Bree quickly respawned and, after confirming that Bleo was as intimidating as she seemed to be, left. I took this opportunity to make friends with her. And so I had my first ally. The 2 of us made our way to a nearby ravine where we stumbled into the next person. This is Jules. She's another one of the players who hadn't joined in the last session, though we'd met before from playing on a regular server together. Bleo and I decided that Jules would be a good addition to our team, so we befriended her. By the way, if you've noticed the sword sticking out of my head, there's a mod on the server that adds a handful of custom texture hats to the game. Bree was wearing a mustache and Bleo is wearing a crown since she won the last session. I chose a sword because, well, I'm metal as hell. Anyway, the 3 of us spend a little time gathering resources from the river and strip mining underground before making our way to the world border. I had prepared a little contraption that allowed us to store and collect our valuables from outside the world border. However, we were dismayed to find that the world border was blocked off by some unbreakable blocks. Ugh. Oh well, we found a little patch of land with some cows on it. We knew that cows would be a valuable commodity for both food and leather, and so we decided to capture some for farming. Jules and I struggled to push 2 cows in a hole while Bleo went to find resources. As we did this, we were spotted. This is Fishy. This little Thanos bunny here was trying to kill our cows, which Jules and I defended fiercely. Fishy is actually the 3rd and last new player in this session, so we briefly considered allying with him before he wandered off. Typical. Anyway, after this, I decided to go mining for some iron and, hopefully, diamonds. I stumbled on a cave and began digging, only to make the most horrifying discovery yet. The entire map was sitting on top of a big, honkin' ancient city. In case you aren't familiar, the ancient city is the most dangerous, deadly structure in the entire game, with some very rare loot. Finding out about it this early was a blessing and a curse. I wasn't deterred. I began to carefully sneak my way in there. I confirmed a couple of chests had been looted before I started to hear something. Now, in Ancient City, sounds are deadly. Making a sound can cause a warden to spawn if you aren't careful. And in Cursed Life, we use a mod that allows us to voice chat in-game based on proximity, but that counts as making a sound and can spot a warden. As I was sneaking around, 3 little hooligans had spotted me from a perch in a cave above and were shouting at me in an effort to spawn a warden. On me. I, very diplomatically, went up to greet them. Let's take some time to meet them together. This is Nick, the server mod. He placed middlingly in the previous session, but has a vast knowledge of Minecraft. We'll have to look out for him. This is Sheep. He quit the first session and has the most horrifying skin you've ever seen. Just don't cheer him, okay? Finally, this is Hawk. We'll see Hawk again later, but he placed second in the last session, and so is potentially very dangerous. I was quickly overwhelmed, so I ran back into my cave, where I almost literally ran into Borb. Borb placed third last time, so it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. The 5 of us briefly chatted, but I eventually tried to retreat. Of course, they followed me up to our little base camp on the surface. While we were chatting, we ran into Astral. Astral placed dead last in the previous session, which means he might be angling for revenge. Anyway, Hawk tried to convince me to join him in another tour of the ancient city. I politely declined and see him, Sheep, and Astral off, before beginning to clear out an area for a small build. However, not 10 minutes later, Hawk comes back. See, he died in the ancient city and was blaming me for his death. He shouted for a while, but eventually wandered off, leaving me some time to build up a quaint little house for Bleo, Jules, and myself. During the build, Nice showed up. He got pretty lucky the first session and hadn't yet allied with anyone else, so I was pretty sure he wasn't going to be too dangerous. At least, not yet. Anyway, after building the house, I figured that I was craving some danger, and so decided to descend back into the ancient city. I skulked around for a while, but I kept triggering Shriekers. The rule is that you can trigger 3 Shriekers safely, but when you trigger a 4th, you get a warden. I got scared and eventually got the hell out of Dodge. When I returned to the surface, Bleo and Jules were preparing to build a real base. Bleo took this time to explain her contraption. Basically, it was a keycard reader. The 3 of us would have a special item to toss into an elevator. At the top, it would let us pass through. However, if someone tried to go up without a keycard, they'd be toasted by lava. So we began to build a big tube of water to act as our elevator. However, as we did this, we realized that Bree's head from the very beginning was lost. I, being the incredible diplomat that I am, immediately blamed Hawk for this disappearance. So we gathered together to go confront them.
Hello. How's it going?
Oh.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, hi, Hawk. Hi, how's it going, Hawk?
How's it going?
Yeah.
Do you like our base? Bulk is
No, it's great. No,
It's
it's
quite
great.
extensive.
What do you
Sounds
think?
like you're
wait,
compensating
sorry,
for something.
Sorry, I misunderstood.
Not
Since you
over
stole
the
something.
chest.
You stole something from us, so I just thought everything was fair game, you know?
The 3 of us dug through their chests, poking around to try and find the head, while they consistently denied responsibility. Of course, at one point, Astral rubbed together both of his team's brain cells to ask the real questions.
Wait, do you even have proof that he stole from you?
I don't need
We
proof.
have proof in our hearts.
Okay,
That doesn't
okay.
sound like proof to
you
me.
you can tell me what you believe I stole.
Oh, Jules. Anyway, I continued poking around, taking the opportunity to steal some of their resources. Bleo did the same. However, as we tried to make our escape, we were found out, and the crew of Hawk, Astral, and Borb followed us home. We eventually reached a tenuous truce. Peace talks, of course, went very well with a diplomat like myself at the table.
Thank you, Blair.
Do you guys have a name?
We the diamond people.
The
red
diamond.
The red diamond.
Okay.
We could be- okay, hear me out, hear me out.
I'm gonna
I got
let
it, I got
Astral
it.
go, yeah.
Okay, we're the Red Crusader.
Oh, yeah.
That's like
Yeah.
evil.
Hard reject.
I like-
Hard reject.
Yes.
Okay, we can
Oh,
go.
yeah.
We're the bulk killers. That's a great name.
I actually think
I don't
that's
like
not
that
a great
name.
I'm not a big fan of that name personally.
But the ball killers and juju defenders. They're like.
And that's pretty much it. Thanks again for putting up with this bizarre video, and a huge thank you to Bleo, who allowed me to use her audio. That's why you could hear anything at the end there. Finally, let's take a look at a quick snapshot of the teams as they currently exist. Bleo, Jules, and I had joined together here. Our team is currently unnamed. Right near spawn in the center are the Tower Boys, or as I'll be calling them, the Compensators. Though we didn't meet up with them this time. There's a team of Nick, Fishy, and a character named Spion on the far side of the tower. Nice had set up camp by himself over here. Expanded Reality, another character we haven't met, was wandering around on his own without a base. I have no idea where Sheep was during all of this, but it's safe to say that he's probably tenuously aligned with both Nick's team and the Compensators. Finally, Bree was out of the session, so we'll have to wait and see who she teams up with. And that's about it. Thank you for watching the very first episode of Cursed Life, and be sure to subscribe for the next episode. Have a great day, and take care.